What's up, guys? Today we have Macro Monarch for Yu-Gi-Oh's Edison format. This is a quick one because it doesn't include an extra deck, but it does have a main deck that we can go over the theory on, just to describe the thought process behind it. But before we get into that, if you guys like Go, Edison, Tengu, or Hat format, we have it all here. So subscribe for more. We also have those more niche retro formats. If you don't want to do that, you can at least like the video. It's free of charge. Appreciate you. Hopefully we can show you something new that you haven't seen before. All right, so Macro Monarch. The macro is going to describe the fact that we're banishing a lot of stuff. We also play Macro Cosmos, so that's what it's named after. And then the Monarch, well, let's show you. We have the best Monarch in the format. We're playing Caius as a 3 of. Not only is it a Monarch, but it also banishes stuff, so that kind of fits the theme. It's going to be that instant on summon removal. It says if this card is tribute summoned, target one card on the field, banish that target. And if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent if it is a dark monster. So it can do back row, it can do your opponent's monsters, it can do your monsters. That 1,000 damage that it does, you can do that if it banishes itself. So remember that. If you need a way of burning your opponent at the end. Next up, we have 2 Ryza. Ryza is going to allow us to have that on-field spot removal, as well as kind of play into hand control, because it's going to deprive your opponent of their next draw that they would have drawn. It says when this card is tribute summoned, return one card on the field to the top of its owner's deck. So you can even recycle your stuff. But we're usually going to get rid of our opponent's stuff and put them on a no draw for the next turn, as well as remove from the field. So it's really good. Next up, we're playing 2 Thestalos, the Firestorm Monarch. He on summon is going to have your opponent randomly discard one card from their hand. And if that monster happened to be a monster card, if that card happened to be a monster card, it's going to inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to that monster's level times 100. So he's going to be a little hand control. And to round off the Monarchs, we're playing the 1 Mobius. I think he's playable in the format, but he's by far the worst. But he is back removal, and he's the only one that outs 2 cards. So we will play 2 of him, or sorry, we'll play 1 of him, just to get rid of those 2 cards if we need to. So yeah, I forgot to say what he says. If you don't know what he does, he says, when this card is tribute summoned, you can target up to 2 spell traps on the field, destroy those targets. All right, for the Banish engine, we have 3 DD Survivor. We have some first edition ultis right there, and then I have 1 Unlimited, RIP. This guy is the main beater for the Banish engine. He says, if this face-up card on your field is removed from play, special summon to the owner's side of the field during the end phase. So we're the owner. So we will get him back every end phase, so you can basically unlimited times tribute him for Monarch and keep getting him back. Or if they beat over him, he's going to come right back. And that's both end phases. So it's just if your opponent beats on their turn, it's come back during their end phase. If it's tributed during your turn and destroyed somehow, he's going to come out during your end phase. He has to be face up on the field to activate that effect. This one's a little less restrictive. It doesn't have to be face up, but it's also just not nearly as good. He's a 800 attack, whereas DD Survivor's 1800 attack. But DD Scout Plane says if this card is removed from play, so just anywhere, it can even be the hand or the deck, special summon this card in face-up attack position on your side of the field during the end phase of this turn. Also, he has to go to an attack. He can just special summon any position, so they've got their ups and their downs, but that's why we played both, because we need to see them for tributes for these guys anyways. Next up, we have 3 Cyber Valley. Cyber Valley is just going to be super free for us. Not only is it a defensive card, because it can stop your opponent and end their battle phase and you draw a card, but it also can be a free draw 2 with these guys, since it can banish them and then draw 2, and then they're going to come back anyways. So that's really good. That's why we play Cyber Valley. And that is it for the monsters, guys. If you have anything you would change about this lineup, please let me know, and let me know why. I'm always looking to get some insight into what you guys are thinking. But this is pretty solid for now, at least in my opinion. It's done well in play. It is rogue, so don't by any means think that this is like a competitive deck. There's decks that just outpace it too much. But it can stack opponents, and that banish, the fact that we banish everything, can hurt a lot of decks. So it does have some like built-in anti-meta synergy. All right. Next up, we have 1 Rhoda. It's going to give us that DD Survivor. Gold Sart can not only bring us into like a Monarch, or like a removal card like Defissure, or a Macrocosmos, or Gravekeeper Servant, but it also can get us an instant DD Scout Plane, because when DD Scout Plane is banished, it's going to return during the end phase, so that immediately enables that. We're playing the one Allure of Darkness. We'll play a crap ton of Darks, and then this one will have instant synergy with Scout Plane, because when it's banished, it gets to return. But we play that, we play Survivor, and we play Caius, so we have like 9 Darks. Next up, we play the one Brain Control. You got to play it. I mean, we play, what is it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We play 8 Monarchs. So I'd rather tribute their stuff than mine and then just beat them with my DD Survivor instead. Play the one MST. We are opting to not play Heavy Storm because we play a crap ton of back row, and it doesn't help us if we pop our own back row. We already have Mobius, we already have Caius, we already have Ryza, so we have enough back row removal as is. But the one Space Typhoon is just going to be free and then not hurt what we're trying to do. Alright, we're playing 3 Defissure. Put this over actually. Defissure says any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead, so it won't be banishing those spells or traps. For the tech, we're playing 3 Gravekeeper Servant. I'm going to read this to you guys. It says, each time your opponent attacks with a monster, the opponent must send 1 card from the top of his or her deck to the graveyard. So if Defissure is in play or Macrocosmos is in play, your opponent cannot legally attack because they cannot guarantee that they'll send a monster from the top of their deck to the graveyard. Or sorry, they can't guarantee that they'll send a card from the top of their deck to the graveyard. Even if that top card is a spell or trap, you don't know. So even under Defissure, which only banishes monsters, you still can't legally do it, if that makes sense. Macrocosmos, it makes sense because everything's banished. But since you can't guarantee if your next card's going to be a spell or trap, you still can't attack. For the traps, we have 1 Solemn. We're playing the 1 Return for Different Dimension. Everything's banished, so hopefully we can get back a bunch of Monarchs. Then Mirror Force, Torrential, Dust Shoot. Those are going to be our rest of our power traps. And then lastly, we have 3 Macrocosmos. That's going to banish everything, so now we have 6 ways of banishing cards. Macrocosmos or Defissure. We just got to see them, and then if we see any of those in conjunction with Servant, we just have the instant lock. And in order to enable that, we have all of these continuous spells and traps remaining on the field. Not only do we play the 1 Solemn Judgment as backup back row protection, but we're also playing the 3 Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe plus Solemn plus Servant plus Macro and Defissure. Just having all those cards on field is going to be really hard for your opponent to break, and it's going to enable this lock that allows us just to continuously, banish our opponent, top deck them, discard, pop, beat over. So that's it. That's the strategy, guys. There's no extra deck. We played Brain Control. If you want to play the extra deck, you can, but I didn't make it. You might as well play just a bunch of Synchros in case you steal Tuner. And then you could play Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons just because it's free. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for the main deck, please let me know. I'm always looking for ways to innovate the deck. And if you guys like Go, Edison, Tengu Plant, Hat format, some of those more niche retro formats, we have it all here. So subscribe for more. Peace out.